going, everybody? It's your host, the Sports Moose, coming at you live. Thunderdome Puckcast, game number 5, post-game show. Hope you're having a great night. I know the Bolts had a great night. If you're a Bolts fan, I'm sure you had a great night. Big 8-0 victory for the Lightning here in game number 5. Huge game. Of course, series tied 2 games apiece. Series all of a sudden becoming a best of 3. Definitely not the outcome we expected in game number 4, though. That third period. How about that third period? How about that spinorama from McDonough that gets parried away by an Islander defenseman? I mean, we could be clinching the series today if it not for a key save there. Again, looking at some of the highlights from game 4, probably didn't deserve to win that one. Of course, a great effort in the third period. But let's talk about game number 5, where the Lightning look like absolute champions. But let's not get ahead of ourselves either. Still 2 games to go. Islanders, I think, 2-0 this year. Game number 6 on home ice. The Bolts are going to have to get through that gauntlet. And if worse comes to worse, bring it back home to win it in a game 7. Don't like that. Let's not do that. Hopefully we can take care of business on Long Island on Wednesday night, back on NBC Sports. We're back on Wednesday. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you join us on chat. We had some comments already. Yeah, what a game. Pucks close out the vet. That'd be awesome. For the Lightning to close out the historic Nassau Coliseum. Kind of I'd say one of the last true, iconic venues in hockey. Of course, Joe Louis closing a couple seasons ago. Now the Nassau Coliseum, really the last true intimate venue left in hockey. Was it 50 years old or so? So really now lots of modern stadiums left. So it'll be sad to see Nassau go. But hopefully we can close it down in game number 6. I mean, this was a 60-minute effort for the most part for the Bolts. Islanders had a couple chances. Vasi coming up big. I think it's just crazy when you're on the other side of a puck luck game, because that's kind of what it was. I mean, the Lightning deserved to win this game, absolutely. But, even it's like 45 seconds in, crazy bounce. Stamkos has a wide open net. It's 1-0. It's 2-0 with a puck kind of dribbling through Varlamov. 3-0, a weird deflection. Killorn hits it while on the ice or falling down, kind of flutters backwards somehow and through Varlamov. I think I'd say those 3 goals weren't even his fault to a degree. Obviously Barry Trotz choosing to make a change and getting in Sorokin. So overall, just an absolute insane game. Unexpected. I mean, 8-0. That is a beating. Largest margin, postseason margin in Lightning history. I think they've put up 3 8s in a couple of games. I think once against maybe the Penguins back in the day, and definitely against the Islanders last year. Remember that one? I think that was a game 1 victory against the Islanders last year in the bubble. It was like 8-2 or something like that. So Stamkos getting 2. There were some question marks. And where has Stamkos been since that first series against the Panthers? He's back. 2 goals. I think 5 and 6 on the postseason. Of course, Killorn, should the Lightning win the Stanley Cup, of course, Killorn probably doesn't win the Conn Smythe. That probably goes to Braden Point. But Killorn has had one of the sneakiest, great postseasons I've ever seen. Hopefully enough for him to earn a new contract. I think that's a conversation for another day. Once we hopefully celebrate another Stanley Cup victory, we can talk about who the Lightning can afford to keep and who might have to go over the offseason. And then, of course, Braden Point getting his 8th goal in as many games. I mean, he has an 8-game goal scoring streak. Absolutely incredible. Only done a handful of times in the NHL history. I mean, you have games like Jaromir Jagr, Mario Lemieux, I think, accomplishing that feat. So in great company. Hopefully he can get it to 9 in game 6. You know it's getting bad when Luke Shen scores a goal. I think he scored the last one, 8-0 for Luke Shen. No disrespect, stepping in for an injured Eric Chernak, of course. Getting in the scrap too. Yeah, I love Shen. I love when he's in the lineup. You know, I like seeing the 11-7. You know, I've liked what we've had with the 12 forward, 6 defensemen rolling the 4 lines. 4th line, I think, has been pretty effective. You saw it again today, kind of controlling kind of a change up there, right? Maroon and Colton, the big bodies out there. I think Johnson has looked really strong as well in this series. He scored a goal, I think he scored a goal in this series. Gotta love the 4th line and what they bring. So, you know, I can't blame Cooper for sticking with 12-6. And, you know, unfortunately, Luke Shen not able to get into the action. Not sure what the prognosis is for Chernak either, whether he'll be back or not. Who else was on the score sheet? Of course, Stammer with 2, Killorn with 2, Palat with a nice little deflection goal. Yanni with a huge goal as well. That second goal kind of on almost a botched 2-on-1 that ended up going in, right? I feel like that's what happened there. And of course, closing out in the third, we talked about Luke Shen and Braden Point's goal, making it 8-0. I think the big story, though, as we got to the second intermission, was the cross-check of the face of Jan Ruda. Don't think he came back for the third period. So really took a pretty vicious cross-check from Matthew Barzal, you know, of the Islanders' best scorers. Is there going to be a suspension? That's a big question. Is the sussy coming? You know, a lot of the experts saying probably not, probably max fine, which is amazingly $5,000 in the NHL. Of course, getting a match penalty, you know, 5 in a game misconduct ain't probably enough. I think Matt Barzal is not a dirty player by any means, and I just saw this is cool. Who knows what Ruda was saying to him. Maybe that's a story for another day. Definitely paid the price though. Got cross-checked in the chops. That's a tough question. Fine or suspension. You know, the fan in me wants it to be a suspension, but I also want to beat the Islanders at their best. Doesn't have a reputation or past history. I think you let it slide. I go with the max fine, which again is amazingly only $5,000 in the NHL. And, you know, let's play game 6. Again, if you're an Islanders fan, or from the Islanders' perspective, this is a throwaway game, right? This one went down the toilet pretty quick. You could even argue as soon as the second period, you know, 3-0 already. Just things really not bouncing your way. Just trying to escape without injury, get some rest, and get ready to bring it back to Long Island for game 6. Really a throwaway game for the Islanders. Was it like 7 or 8 odd man rushes given in the first period? Yeah, I mean, I think that they were on edge after that first Stamkos goal, and even after goal number 2, things weren't going to go their way. Their defensive structure broke down. I mean, we'll see when we look at our friends at Natural Stat Trick. I think 7 of the 8 Lightning goals coming like in the paint. Absolutely incredible effort again by the Bolts to break down the system. And we'll see what happens for game number 6. So as we usually do, let's jump over to our stats. Went through the scoring lines, of course. 3 goals in the first from Stamkos, Gordon, Killorn. All kind of fluky goals. I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. Where they, you know, I think the Lightning gave themselves opportunities, and I don't want to say they didn't deserve those goals. I think to a degree they deserved them. Particularly the Yanni Gourde goal. It was either Goodrow or Gord himself in the previous entry into the zone, like just absolute obvious holding on either Gord or Goodrow. I can't remember. They clear the zone, come back in the zone, or I think the puck was actually kept in, and that ended up with Yanni Gord scoring. But Lightning was just pedal to the metal. I think spirits were broken pretty early for the Islanders. A little bit of pushback. I think that the double doink or the 2 shots off the post probably, I think, wins out of their sails there, and then hitting the side of the net immediately, just missing wide open nets here and there. Second period, of course, Stamkos, Palat, Killorn with the second, and Stamkos with the second, and Braden Point and Lucian closing it out in the third. Much more physical game, I would say. Again, 80 total hits, pretty even. Wednesday was super sloppy for the Lightning, definitely for the Islanders in the defensive zone, having a tough time maintaining structure, giving up some odd man rushes, a couple key turnovers. Face-offs pretty even. Lightning, of course, 3 for 6 on the power play. That aided. I think they got 2 goals on the 2-minute major or the 5-minute major. So that definitely helps. That should get their percentage back over 40% once again. And when you look at plus and minus, of course, Barzal with the 15 minutes there. Matt Martin, I guess, getting a 10-minute. I think he had a fighting major and a minor, so 17 minutes for combined 32 minutes there from just Barzal and Martin combined. Really minuses across the board for the Islanders. Kind of expect that. I'm surprised only couple -2s. Really nothing too crazy or heavy. Oh, Polak -4. That's tough. That is tough. Tough draw for Sorokin as well. Got mop-up duty. Gotta have to stick it in there. Take it for the team. I think he gave up 5 goals to Varlamov's 3. I mean, Varlamov's night was done. I fully expect him to be in goal for game number 6. No goalie controversy on the island. Bolts, on the other hand, really high water mark of +2 for most of the defense. We getting +2s here, and even got another big criticism on the defensive scoring. Right, Luke Shin on the scoring sheet. Gotta love it. Him getting a fighting major as well. All right, for the fun statistics, absolute domination again. Looking at the sabermetric like stats, Bolts heavy with the Corsi and Fenwick settings. 56, 61%. Shots for, again, Lightning doubling up, 40-21. Scoring chances, actually kind of surprised to see the Islanders having 28 scoring chances and 12 of them being actually high danger. I guess most of those coming in the first period with a couple mad scrambles and not able to convert those. Lightning 14 and converting 8 goals on those. So pretty high conversion percentage there. The Bolts, again, tough night in goal for the Islanders goalies. Expected goals for the Lightning with all these stats. In possession time, about 4, doubling that up. And Vasi again. Defense having a good night. I think other than some of the scrambles in the first period, maybe a couple in the second, just not super dangerous chances for the Islanders. And those that were dangerous, Vasi was there making huge saves. So once again, expected goals, really only 2 for the Islanders. Lightning keeping that under wraps. Game flow chart. Love seeing this. Some criticism on Twitter and some of the other social media platforms of, Lightning having 4 power plays in a row. I think they scored on 2 of them. But I mean, this is, we can talk about this another day. Of course, game management in the NHL. We've seen that at play in a couple of these games where, we have this obsession where power plays have to be even. And no, you call it how you see it. And I think the referees did a great job at calling it how they saw it in this game. I mean, it was pretty clear cut that the Islanders were committing more penalties. The Lightning were out of control, just outplaying them, and they called it correctly finally. So no, everyone on Twitter, relax. Called correctly. This may have been one of the better called games of the series, if not any game that the Lightning has been part of. And again, I'm trying to be as objective as possible. But not a surprise here. Lightning really owning the curves here. It's really high possession and quality of play. And looking at kind of shot charts, most Lightning goals coming from high danger scoring areas right in front of the crease. Had that, I forget who scored from over here. Was that a Shen goal? I think it was Shen from the blue line. Really nothing for the Islanders. A couple decent opportunities looking at, I guess, from their grand total of 20 shots. Most of them coming from this like crescent area here, maybe from dots, basically. So overall, good night for the defense. Good night for Vasi. Good night for everybody if you're wearing a Lightning sweater overall. So, what comes next? Of course, big game on Long Island, game number 6. We know that is going to be a crazy environment. I think a lot of disappointed fans today. They were showing some highlights from the game watch that was going on at the arena. Mike in the right place. Struggle was real. So some angry fans. I think I saw a fan like throw his jersey on the floor and like walk away. I mean, relax. It's not over yet. I mean, obviously, on paper and eye test, the Lightning are clearly the better team. Deserve to have that spot in the final. But you got to earn it. And going into New York, that's a tough place to play. So hopefully the Lightning get it done in 6. I hate the toss-up of game number 7, especially with a scrappy team like the Islanders who can shut it down real quick. Just takes a night of bad puck luck. We saw it today in play for the Islanders. What happens if that's us, where nothing's going our way? Islanders have the capability of shutting it down. So again, game 6 is huge. Wednesday night. We'll have to see how that goes. Been saying it, Lightning in 6. That's my safe call. Bolts in 6. Of course, tomorrow night, maybe even more surprising. Montreal and the Vegas Golden Knights tied at 2 in their series. Of course, that winner to play the winner of the Lightning Islanders in the Stanley Cup Final. Have to wait and see what happens there. Can Carey Price continue to carry the Canadiens? Unbelievable. Little bit of goalie controversy in Vegas now with Robin Lehner. Like he started game 4 for him. Did a great job. Got the W. Do you go back to Fleury? Do you stay with Robin Lehner? I mean, these are two top. Fleury's probably for sure a top 5 goalie this year. Lehner, you'd say top 15 in the league, and he's a backup. So Vegas in a good position. We'll wait and see what happens there. We'll be back for game number 6. So we'll try and do a third period game watch for game number 6. I meant to do it today. Just didn't get around to getting on the computer. We'll do it for game 6. Hopefully clinching right here live. And of course, post-game show on Wednesday. It's been it for your host, the Sports Moose. We'll see you next time. Thunderdome Puckcast. Make sure you're following us on our social media platforms. You'll see it right there at Sports Moose. The Sports Moose. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. We're streaming live post-game every Lightning game. And of course on Twitter, I was pretty active today at Sports Moose Show. We'll see you next time on Wednesday for game number 6 post-game show. Take care.